All right, people, what would you say after watching this video?
Here is my little message to the far right. If you want me out of your country, pay me a one-way ticket, pay for my accommodation, and I will be out of your hair for good. Because I promise you, my country is far better than this country. I was just unlucky to be born here. I hate this country more than you do. But pay for my shit and I'll be gone. I promise you. I promise you. Book it for tomorrow, matter of fact.
Here's what I would say. No, if you hate this country so much, then this country is not going to subsidize your lifestyle. You love your other country even more, then you will be sent there for free. And if things continue the way they've been going, which is we are headed towards a conflict, and before any major civil unrest or civil conflict, we will have some political attempts to resolve this issue peacefully. And one of those resolutions would be you have to go. You don't fit. And this is what Rupert Lowe is doing. And he's saying, and whether he does it or not, or he turns out to be a stepping stone for the next hard right-wing movement, time will tell. But things can't go on the way they've been going. Britain has allowed in millions of Muslims. There are thousands of mosques. There are literally hundreds of murders in the name of Islam. There have been so many special privileges granted only to the Muslim community, and still they're not happy. So what do? Sorry, we tried everything. I know right now the status quo does not have the spine to take those harsh steps, but mark my words, that will happen. Or Britain will die as we know it. 1,000-year-old civilization, actually longer than that, but this current phase after the Battle of Hastings, 1066. I accidentally said 1088, and then people were bashing me in the comments. Come on, guys, 1088, 1066. Yeah, I'm not a historian. I'm an observer, and I'm allowed to make that kind of a mistake. But my overall point remains: the Battle of Hastings, 1066, completely new Britain, England. And then before that, still, you can go as far back as the Romans. And before that as well, nomadic tribes. A very rich, long, civilizational, tiny country, but a huge footprint. I don't think any other country has had a bigger footprint than the United Kingdom. That United Kingdom will be gone if the people of Britain don't find a solution fast about this adulteration of their culture, their way of life, their society, this erosion of their culture. Something's got to give. So some people are fighting back, like Paul Golding. He's the leader of Britain First. I call him a friend. I don't fully agree with his views on Israel, and I actually recently pushed back against it. But not everything is about Israel, okay? We can have agreements and disagreements if we have a bigger goal in mind, which is saving Western civilization. We need all hands on deck. We need all the support we can get. Watch this.
This is the London Fatwa Council. This is another one of those Sharia courts. This one's up in Wembley in West London. Unfortunately, there's over 85 of these Sharia courts operating across the UK. It's quite outrageous, though, that an invading foreign religion sets up its own legal system to run parallel with the native British legal system.
That is what happens in a country when you allow illegal immigrants with values that do not align with Western values to take over your country with absolutely zero accountability. In many ways, London has fallen to radical Islam. And I want to be clear. We are not anti any religion on this show. This is not about being Muslim. This is about what happens when you let 85 Sharia law courts operate under their own laws independently of the laws in the United Kingdom. Paul Golding is the leader of Britain First. Paul, appreciate you being here. Can you take us through how this is legal and why the British government doesn't step in and shut these down?
Your guess is as good as mine, but the most obvious reason is votes. Just like in America, but to an even greater degree, the ruling Labour Party that governs this country are extremely beholden to the Islamic bloc vote. And recently, when we had the 7th of October attack in Israel, the Labour government came out very strongly in support of Israel, and their Islamic voting bloc in the UK almost collapsed, almost melted away.
Okay.
So since then, they've been in overdrive to try and win all of those millions of Islamic votes back. So they basically, this has been going on for decades. I mean, Britain is being overrun and colonized by wave after wave of Islamic immigration. We're treated like second-class citizens compared to most Islamic populations in this country. They get preferential treatment. They get put to the front of the queue. They're allowed to build their own parallel legal systems. They're allowed to engage in things like barbaric halal slaughter. There's over 50,000 known Islamists on the terror watch list in this country. And if you speak out against that, if you say anything, then you're demonized by the media as a racist.
Demonized and called an Islamophobe, I'm sure. They do the same
and
thing
far
here.
right as well. We're always called
They
far right.
claim these are guidance centers, like counseling centers, Islamic guidance centers. The British government apparently did do an investigation on these councils. Here's the quote. Submissions to a 2018 Home Office report on the Muslim courts included testimony from women who said imams tried to force them to return to their husbands in cases of serious domestic violence. One woman said that a Sharia law council, quote, repeatedly refused to let her divorce her husband even after he attacked her while she was pregnant and attempted to throw her daughter out the window. And
this is a very problematic Sharia law. It's called Taha Zojia. Nuria Khan actually was a victim of this in the UAE. She was also told by the police to go back to her abusive husband because in Islam, women don't have an agency. That's what we mean by Sharia courts in the UK. They are antithetical to Western values. You cannot have parallel legal system. Just because they're not stoning adulterers to death, it doesn't mean they are practicing some, rosy version of Sharia. It is still completely antithetical to Western values.
Quote, meaning it sounds like these are operating as independent courts to me. Let me play. I know you were able to get inside one of these. I just want to play that video and then get your reaction. Take a look.
Are we okay to have a look at the Sharia court?
No, not really, because you need to leave.
This is where the judge would sit, and this is where disputing parties would sit.
They're recording.
Yeah, look, they're entering.
It's just insane. How are these allowed to operate? I don't understand it. It's like two governments in one country.
Well, essentially what would happen if any politician tried to tackle this issue, they would be instantly demonized as an Islamophobe or far right or a racist. And basically the ruling Labour Party, they do whatever they can to try and, keep the Islamic bloc vote on their side. So they're allowed to do whatever they want, essentially. And they're growing in political power and assertiveness all across the United Kingdom.
Right.
We've seen so many areas across the country. If you look at areas like Birmingham, Luton, so many across the country. We've got an Islamic mayor in London. If you look at where Muslims live in Britain, and there's millions of them, there's so many places, towns and cities, which used to be English towns and cities, which just look like the Middle East now.
Right.
And so many of them are where the Labour Party is basically elected, and that's where they're incumbent, because the Muslims vote as a bloc for the governing Labour Party, like they would do in America. They'd vote for the Democrats. We have the same thing here.
I guess, Paul, when you look at, so again, this is not anti-Muslim, but when you look at the tenets of Sharia law, and these are Sharia law courts, there are more than 85 across the UK. Just a couple of the tenets. Theft is punishable by the amputation of the hands. Criticizing or denying any part of the Quran is punishable by death. Criticizing Muhammad, punishable by death. A Muslim who becomes a non-Muslim, punishable by death. A non-Muslim who marries a Muslim woman is punishable by death. Homosexuality, punishable by death. Look, I don't understand how any of that is compatible with the Church of England. Can you?
No, of course not. It's not compatible with long-held traditions of English law. And of course, even the legal system in America is based upon English law, which goes back over 1,000 years, Magna Carta, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And, at the end of the day, Sharia law is barbaric. It's an alien ideological system which belongs in the Middle East, in places like Afghanistan or Iran and so on. It doesn't belong in a historic Christian nation like Britain is. But because
Yeah.
they're becoming such a powerful voting bloc, and our equivalent of the Democrats in America bend over backwards to appease them at every twist and turn, they're basically allowed to do whatever they want, including building a parallel legal system.
Wow.
You know, and you can see the difference. They need their own legal system because
Yeah.
Sharia law is so fundamentally different to English traditional historic law. The
Yeah.
values, the core tenets are so different. And you've got it's a clash of civilizations. You've got Western versus, you know, barbaric Middle Eastern law here.
I hope, Paul,
So
I
they
hope the
have to build.
people, I'm sorry, I hope the people of England are waking up to this. I hope they are. It's happening here. Again, it's not anti-Muslim, but you've got to have assimilation. And if you are a Western country like England, like we are, you've got to have a culture where things are congruent. And the tenets of Sharia law, I'm sorry, are not congruent with Western civilization. And that's bearing out in all of these Western countries, and nobody's doing anything about it. Paul Golding, appreciate you being here. Thank you. Keep us posted.
That was Paul Golding. He leads a right-wing patriotic party called Britain First. And we need a lot more people like that. And as I said before, our movement is growing. Our pushback against the Islamization of the West is growing. Keep watching, keep supporting.